me move towards somebody who has been right at the forefront of bringing about the industry or taking the graduates or students to the industry, and on a continuing basis, and how industry could be brought into the academy, and which is where I have Rajiv Tandon, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Work Integrated Learning Program of FICCI Pilani. A lot has been written about it, a lot has been talked about it. As I said, it's a program which is a model program for the engineering institution in particular, and not just now say only for, especially for the engineering institution, but I think it is one program that can really cut across other disciplines too. Mr. Tandon has been in the industry, and he has worked in verticals like IT and ITES, automotive, manufacturing, engineering, metals and mining, pharmaceuticals and healthcare. And he now leads the WILP division of FICCI Pilani, where he's working with 30,000 plus working professionals on roles and pursuing a range of specific sector-specific degree programs. Mr. Tandon, you have another about 6 to 7 minutes to really talk about.
Sure. From that angle would be most inexperienced, among all the panelists which are present here. But the reason I think both FICCI as well as my Vice Chancellor pushed me into this meeting is because for the last 6 or 7 years, my job primarily has been around getting practitioners and professors to come under the same room and design solutions together. So what I was told is, you have really seen it on ground, and perhaps, a far more closer picture to what happens when the industry academia, with all good intentions, try to interact and collaborate. What is it that works and what is it that does not work? And so I think that is what I will try and, share with you. You absolutely right. FICCI Pilani works with not just one vertical, but almost 9 industry verticals. When we do work integrated learning programs, every vertical has nuances. As much as possible, the commonality as well as the differences, I'll also try and, indicate those. When I was listening to Mr. Srirang, it was all very familiar to what I encounter when I go to the industry leaders and talk to them about collaborating on programs. Many of these points are very, very familiar. This whole skilling, reskilling, upskilling, the way I'm beginning to see is more like a circle of life or the chakra of life. People are born, they grow young and then they grow old, then they die. Depending on your beliefs, you will be born again. The only big difference is that this circle moves much, much faster. And, there was a time 4 or 5 years back, or, I used to envy the young, looking at the number of opportunities they have, with them, to shape up their careers. But I would say, working with the industry, now I realize that envy has to be a little cautious. Because, the amount of change tsunami, this generation, people who are entering the workforce as well as the people who are in the workforce in the early careers, mid careers, is far lesser than what, I had to face, the prime of my career. So there's so much, I see in terms of both complexity of skills and the shelf life of skills, which has changed in a big way. In terms of verticals, what I'm seeing is that this problem is very highly pronounced as far as IT vertical goes. When I meet them, it almost seems, that they say that their hunger for skills is like a famine of skills, because the hunger is far more than what's available. The industry talk almost in military terms. I hear things like, talent wars, battle for skills. We want legions of, machine learning experts. So this is the language with which the IT industry today is speaking, and is expressing that they want a lot of skilling, upskilling, reskilling to really survive and thrive in the business they are in. My own guess is what is true for the IT industry today would very soon proliferate in other verticals big time. Because if you notice, a lot of IT industries are doing, I would say digital transformation projects for other industry verticals. So by the time, there is more development, more design, more deployment of these projects in other industry verticals, it will also start making fast changing changes when it comes to skill requirements and reskilling requirements even in those verticals. So it's very very pronounced, IT today, but many other verticals tomorrow. And my own sense is, caught in this whirlwind are people who are most dear to both the institutions as well as the industry. Institutions love their students, they love their alumni. Good employers love their employees. So the people who are really caught in this, and I think this is enough reason to catalyze, the whole industry, academia, engagement, partnership, to see that this problem or this new phenomena of skilling, reskilling, upskilling is addressed, very very strongly. I believe there are three things which especially I have encountered when kind of drafting or working together with both the academics as well as the industry people, creating solutions. One I feel is, I think Mr. Sinha also alluded to it, there's this huge need for also fostering a culture of collaboration. Sometimes it seems to be in an abstract zone, because culture is not immediately understood what needs to be done there. But what I witnessed is, rooms where very well-intended academics, professors, and practitioners meet. But as a neutral observer there, helping, mentoring, those discussions, what I sense is almost like culturally there is a yawning gap that you see. You'll see, it's like soldiers trying to collaborate with sculptors. Each has a very different priority, different worldview. They are talking in languages which are very difficult for both the sides to understand. And what it does is, this whole idea of not understanding each other and not having the culture means also that the effectiveness of what can be created when when there is a common culture of collaboration, that is something I feel needs a lot of working on. Second is, what I found is what we today call sometimes as industry academia collaboration, sometimes very light and tactical engagements are termed as industry academia collaboration happening. If a talent acquisition team engages regularly with the placement office, and if we feel that that's what industry academia engagement is, we'll be far away from what's really needed. When there is a invite a professor gets from an L&D team saying, here is a topic I want you to conduct a webinar on, if that is industry academia engagement, we are again very very far away from what's really needed. So I think while at BITS to a certain extent we have done this, but this whole solution that we require to the skilling, upskilling, reskilling requirement in terms of getting the workplace inside the classroom of a college and getting a classroom inside a organization, so that there is a whole reskilling, upskilling also continuously go on, require very very different models. And unless we really rethink and define those models, work integrated learning programs is certainly one such model. And I know a lot of academia, government, industry people have admired that model. But at BITS, we feel we must have divine discontent around it, because there is so much more that we can do even within that model to work with the industry and create solutions which are lifelong learning solutions. So that's so creation of those models, which are very serious models, not tactical models, very strategic models, are required to address this particular issue. And third, I think in my own experience, because while we work with a lot of companies and a lot of industries, but all relationships are not equal. And I'll tell you what are the characteristics, where when the academia, the institution and a company, kind of deepens the collaboration is at two levels. One, from both the sides, every time a collaboration is happening, there is a unity of purpose which is very well defined. It is sometimes I've seen that since both organizations might have different objectives, the company might come and say, they want to attract the best people and retain the best people. Use terminology like, ring fence their best talent, or ensuring that, they are facing a pipeline of a projects in a certain area, and they want, people to be trained, or there is a distributed education model that they want. So they express these terms, these needs very, very clearly. Similarly, on the academic side, there is this whole need of ensuring academic excellence. There is this whole need of ensuring that there is meaningful rigor which is created in the programs, as well as the whole experience which the learner is getting, ensuring that the immediate need of the industry is being met. At the same time, the learner is also learning something which will be relevant for life. Now, I've seen wherever the leadership at both the sides can get together and create this unity of purpose, magic happens. And some of those collaborations, they will grow, they'll scale, and as I normally say, they move from nice to do to must do. And because there are relationships, because I think both the industry and academia is conscious that they need to collaborate. So you see these light collaborations, people continue to do that because it is nice to say that you're doing it. But the moment there is unity of purpose, where business needs of an organizations and the academic goals which an institution has, a balance is achieved, the chances of success, chances of growth of the relation, goes multifold.